The nurses looked extremely concerned.
Doctor, we really need to admit him. I don't think that he is faking it. I really think that he needs our help.
Him? Forget it. He's probably just a gang member. Black guys like him usually are.
Hi there, my name is Joel and I love to travel. My journeys have taken me all over the world and I have many amazing stories to tell. But right now, I want to tell you about the one time that I got so angry that I kind of did something really illegal. But hear me out. I promise that I was justified. For starters, I'm 32 years old and I grew up and live in South Africa. But I speak English perfectly. When I was young, I would look at the globe that my father kept in his office and I would dream about visiting all of the countries of the world. It was something that I wanted to do more than anything else. And when I got older and became a surgeon, I finally had enough money that I could go on a trip to a new destination several times a year. I've been to every continent except Antarctica, but eventually, I plan to go even there. This story, however, occurred when visited the United States. It wasn't the first time that I went there, but it was the first time that I had major problems. You see, I went to Houston for the first time, and I was having a wonderful time when suddenly I began to feel ill. My abdomen was in agony. The pain was so bad that I nearly was passing out. Instantly, I suspected that it might be appendicitis, and so I rushed to the hospital. However, that was when things began to go downhill fast.
What is this man doing here?
He's complaining about abdominal pain, doctor.
Look at him. He's just trying to get some painkillers. His kind always does.
No, sir. That isn't true. It's probably appendicitis. Please run some tests.
Appendicitis? And how would someone like you know that?
Please believe me. I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? You've got to be kidding me. See, I knew that he was lying. There's no way that he's a surgeon. There's nothing that his kind won't be lie about.
I was in such pain that I couldn't argue with him. Instead, I sat in the waiting room and assumed that if things got worse, that they would have helped me. Which, at the rate at which the pain was increasing, I assumed that it wouldn't be very long. As I sat there, I could hear the nurses begging the doctor to help me, but he kept glaring at me and refused to admit me. There were a few times when I passed out from the pain, and when I woke up, the nurses looked extremely concerned.
Doctor, we really need to admit him. I don't think that he is faking it. I really think that he needs our help.
Him? Forget it. He's probably just a gang member. Black guys like him usually are.
I didn't know how much more I could take. The pain was almost too much to bear. I was suffering so much that I was drenched in sweat and couldn't even stand up anymore, or even see straight. It was clear that I had a very high fever, and it was only getting worse. Finally, the doctor came back out to the waiting room, and for a brief moment, I thought that he had finally changed his mind. But boy, was I mistaken.
Why are you still here? Everyone can see that you're just faking it. You're doing a good job, so I can assume that maybe you're an actor of some sort, but I'm not falling for it.
Please, sir. I'm not faking it. I'm in incredible agony. My appendix is going to burst any second.
Just stop already. Why do you people constantly come in here looking for painkillers? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Just then, another doctor came in. The second that she came in, she noticed the other doctor speaking to me and came over to see what was going on.
Hey, what's going on over here?
It's just some gangbanger looking for a drug fix.
She took one look at me and got extremely angry.
Are you kidding me? He's burning up. Nurse, admit this man immediately and run some tests and put a rush on getting those results.
Thankfully, the nurses listened to her and rushed me into the examination room. They ran several tests and also prepared the operating room for me, as the doctor suspected just as I did. Sure enough, when the tests came back, they showed that I had been correct, and I was prepped and rushed up to the operating room. When I finally woke up, I was still in pain, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was before my surgery. The female doctor that had been my savior walked into my room to check on me.
Hello there, Joel. How are you feeling?
Much better now. How bad was it?
If we hadn't admitted you when we did, then you probably would have died in that waiting room.
I was worried that that would happen. Thank you for admitting me when you did. What was wrong with that other doctor, though?
Yeah, sorry about him. I've tried to get him fired so many times. He's incredibly racist, and I can only imagine the kinds of things that go on when I'm not here. In fact, I was planning to take the day off, but my plans were canceled at the last minute, and so I came into work.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry, but I'm really happy that your plans were canceled. Truly, I owe you my life. She laughed, and then continued to do her rounds. That whole day, I was very groggy and trying to recover from my surgery. Every now and then, I would see the male doctor that had nearly cost me my life. He would just walk by and glare at me menacingly. Towards the end of the day, he came into my room to threaten me.
Listen, yeah, maybe I was wrong, but if you know what's good for you, you'll just take your pain meds and leave as soon as you can.
Oh, are you just scared that I might get you reported for incompetence?
No one will believe even if you did. They'll know better than to trust a black guy.
What is wrong with you? I would never treat a patient the way you have treated me. This is absolutely unconscionable.
I don't care what you think. You just better be gone first thing in the morning. Or else I'll make sure that you don't walk out the hospital at all.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that he was speaking to me that way. I could only imagine how many people that he had hurt over the years because he was turning people away from the hospital. I didn't know what I could do, but then I looked out into the hallway and saw a bucket of water and some cleaning supplies sitting on the ground near to an emergency exit. A dark thought instantly formed in my mind. I knew that the doctor would be walking by my room at least once more, as the elevator was near to my room, and so even though it was really hard for me to do so, I managed to sneak out of my room. I quickly checked the hallway to make sure that the coast was clear, and then I propped the door to the stairwell open, and then dumped all the water and cleaning supplies on the ground, and then returned to my room to wait. I didn't have to wait long when I heard the doctor coming down the hallway. Once he was outside my door, I rushed him with all the energy I could muster and shoved him onto the tiled floor, where I had dumped the chemicals and water. It didn't take much to get him to slip and be sent flying across the hallway and through the open door and into the stairwell. My intentions were for him to fall down one flight, but since he was covered in the fluids, he kept falling down the stairs until he fell all the way from the 6th floor that we had been on to the ground floor. Carefully, I crept back to my room and tried to go to sleep to make it look like I hadn't done anything at all. In the morning, I checked myself out of the hospital and quickly made my way to the airport and flew home. I was terrified that I would get in trouble for what I had done, but no one had stopped me leaving the country. When I got home, I looked up online to see if anyone had reported about what had happened, and I was shocked to see that the local news had reported a terrible tragedy at the hospital that I had been admitted to. They reported that a doctor had a terrible accident and had slipped on spill and had severely injured himself, falling down several flights of stairs. The injuries were so severe that he was forced to retire as he would never be able to perform surgery again and had lost the ability to walk. Part of me felt guilty for just how badly he had been injured, but a much larger part of me felt that I had gotten justice for all the people that he had no doubt hurt over the many years of his career and all the people that he might have hurt had I done nothing. So tell me, was I in the wrong?